drop. We're gonna take our bows, we're going where there's no road. We're gonna have too much fun, 'cause the air's on the run. Gonna breathe the mountain air, we're gonna see some bears. We're gonna take you where you've never been before. We're gonna cross the river, we're gonna climb some rocks. We're gonna hunt until we drop, 'cause the air's on the run. We're gonna breathe mountain air, we're gonna see some bear. We're gonna take you where you've never been before. We're gonna cross the river, we're gonna climb some rocks. We're gonna hunt until we drop, 'cause the air's on the run. There's the air. Where's my gun?
Hello, welcome to another adventure with On Foot Films. We're out here in the Old West, and this time we have some rifle tags for mule deer. And that's our big plan. We've never been here before. We're actually in Nevada, and we're gonna go and we've heard some good things about the bucks here. Well, we're holding out for, we're hoping we get a little snow sometime during the week, and if not, it'll still get cold at night in this country, and this weather can't hold up. It's almost the end of October. It's 23rd or 4th, 5th, something like that, and we're kind of ready for it. But for right now, we're just going to hunt the only way we really know how to have any success, and that's to cover a lot of ground and try to find them. And that's where we're heading now. It's a public land hunt, and the road ends here, and the hill goes up from here. So we're going to hike on up. It's afternoon, so we're going to go up and find a spot, do some glassing, spend the night up there, and scout for a day or so. Do our usual thing. We got a couple of identical 25 super short mags, and we're going to try them out. So we're A-bolt fans, and so we both had to get them. So yeah. We could probably share one, but we each want to shoot one with our own. So I don't know if we're going to do that or not. We've done that in the past, and it's worked out pretty well. Yeah, I actually had a 25-06, so I don't know that it made a lot of sense to get this, but it weighs about 2 pounds lighter than my 25-06. So, and Jason shot great right out of the box, and I can't have Jason having a gun that shoots better than me, so I had to get one. So now I got to do it on film. Actually, my 25 shoots really well too, but this is a lot lighter, so. This is kind of a better deal for the kind of hunting we do on foot. Right on. Anyway, welcome to the hunt, and hope you enjoy it. about 1,000 yards away. You said they're does? Yeah, there's 4 does. We spotted a buck from here, and there's a few does with him. He's not a real big buck. He's either a 3x4 or 4x4, we're not sure. He's not a real big buck, but he's the first one we've seen today. Yeah. And he's the first deer we've seen today, so we're over 10,000 feet. We're about 10.5. So we don't want to run down there and run over if we don't think we want to shoot him. Yeah. Yeah, this kind of takes your breath away. I've played these elevations before, but not for days on end, so it's kind of a little different. Anyway, we're moving on. Well, we're a little over 10.5, or at least 10.5. I don't think we're quite 11,000 feet. And I've never found a shed horn nearly this high. I wouldn't have thought we'd find them this high. We found both of these sheds. And a third one that we can't find now. Yeah, we've seen a 4-point shed down there, and we were sneaking up on this buck at the time. So we left it, and then when we come back, we missed it, and we ain't going back to look for it. But we found 3 sheds up here. Like I said, we're every bit of 10.5, probably closer to 11. And it's a kind of a southeast facing slope. It's a windswept thing, I'm sure, all winter long. It has been today. And probably doesn't get much snow accumulated here, but first thing in the spring, I guess they're up here looking for stuff. But this is way higher than I thought we'd find some sheds. Yeah. But the hunting's going pretty good. Yeah, we're still seeing a lot of deer. Not to cut you off. No. But Joe spotted that buck that he filmed. He spotted about 500 yards away or more, and we snuck up relatively close to the camera. And I'm the only one packing a rifle today, but we knew right away, or I knew right away, that I didn't have much plan on shooting it, at least not this early. Anyway, but he's a 4-point with eye guards, and we know there's bigger bucks in here. There has to be. I think the best buck we've seen definitely was one Jason spotted this morning, and I think this morning we said it was 1,000 yards, but it's further than that. It's a long. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a mile over there. That dude's a long. It's 1,500 yards anyway. He may be better than we thought. Like Jason said, when you're glassing that far away, it's kind of, you know, we didn't think he was great big, but I know we've been fooled like with elk before, glassing them that far away and thinking, well, it's not that big of a bull, and then you get where you're not a half mile or not a mile away, and holy cow, he's actually pretty decent. So, you know, he may be better than we realized. Cool. You know, but I mean, like Jay said, the sun was coming up. You see, this horn's good because of the sun on him, and we were sure it was 4 on one side, and he may have only been 3 on the other. But you know, at that kind of distance, even with the sun on the horns like that, it's hard to say. So we're gonna head that way and get a better look. Well, we found that buck, but it was getting dark by the time we were able to get in on him, and he was coming out of the brush, and we weren't really getting in on him as we were about 500 yards away. But we got a plan for tomorrow, so we're going to try to go in and get him. And actually, it wasn't the buck I spotted this morning that we're going to go after. We seen him too, but Joe spotted a real nice 4x4 buck down there with a lot of does, and then scattered in this bowl there's probably a dozen other bucks, and none of them as nice as this 4-point. And we did see the 3x4 that I spotted from a long ways off. But we kind of changed our game plan a little bit seeing this other one.
You know, we were kind of thinking what we thought he was. I think he's about 26. Jason thinks he's about 27 inches wide. But, you know, not that means all that much, other than, you know, he's a good buck. He's a good 4x4. His forks are good. It's too far away to see if he had eye guards, but he was just a nice all-around buck. And definitely the best buck we've seen since we've been here. And you know, we think we better shoot him.
We've seen a lot of bucks.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few, but a lot of younger bucks. But this is a pretty nice buck. Our problem, like Jason said, it was 5 o'clock when we spotted him. It's getting dark at 6:30, and you know, you throw on top of that you've got all these other bucks in between here and there, and about, I don't know, half dozen different little ravines to get across, and we thought we'd just better back off. So we're going to be there in the morning. We'll see how good he is. I mean, we can guess all day long how wide we think he is, and none of that counts till you get him on the ground. It's all BS till you get him on the ground. So if we shoot him tomorrow, if Jason shoots him tomorrow and he's only 22 inches, then you'll just know how full of crap we really are.
He's a 6-point. And Joe is way up there doing a good thing. Well, that's him. He's not the 4-point we saw last night. I know he's a 6x4 now, but he is what we thought was the 5-point we saw this morning. The 4-point we saw last night was a little wider, built like this, a little wider, which is very cool because it'll give Joe something to go for. Both of them are dandy bucks. I'm tickled pink with this. Joe will be down here shortly. He's still getting geared. Attaboy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Being the pack mule in this camp's a thankless job. Only reason I got the attaboy is because the camera was here. Oh man, there's a nice buck, Jason.
Yeah, he's 6 on one side, bud.
All right, let's check it out here.
And this is Joe spotted him for me twice today. Once this morning, so we can sneak down on him, and then once while I was asleep taking my nap up there. Well, you went and got your packs, the packs. I finished my nap.
There you go. This is not the buck we spotted last night. There's a big 4x4 over here last night, and this morning we got back to where we were watching him last night, right up till dark. We were there at daylight, and we come around and we couldn't see him. We seen some does where that 4-point was, and we could see a couple does in between that we'd seen last night. So we were cutting around and coming down above where that 4-point had been. And we looked back under where we'd been spotting from, and this buck was there with those does. We just hadn't seen him last night or this morning. We figured that he was with a couple other does either right below us or on the little ridge to the right or the little ridge to the left. All of them had little mahogany clumps, and it was a sunny, getting pretty warm. So we figured he was there, and we just planned on spending the day just sitting right where we were, waiting till they come feeding out, because we were kind of in shooting range from all of them.
About that time, the clouds came in and covered everything up, so it started getting cold, and they started moving around. And I actually was asleep up there when Joe told me I was snoring.
I had to wake him up. He was going to stay your way.
And he told me that buck that doe that we thought this buck was actually with a lone doe, not with those four, kind of off to the side. She stepped out, and there was a rock about 15-20 yards to Joe's left down into the draw side.
He's got a lot of velvet on him.
He does.
This is October 29th.
Yeah, day after my birthday. So
yeah.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah. Well, he didn't tell me it was his birthday till 3:30 yesterday afternoon, so it really wasn't enough time.
I go, spot me a buck for my birthday, and he did, but then it got dark.
But anyway, he's a good buck, and he's not the one who spotted yesterday. You know, that
well,
one
he's not
there,
that 4-point.
Yeah, that's that, because we didn't see this one yesterday, but he's a good buck nonetheless.
That is true. That is true.
What's that?
Yeah, because we came back for the 4-point, and then there was a big 3x4. That's the one I saw about a mile away, or however long ways away. And we saw him last night. We saw that 4-point last night. So there are a number of bucks in here that are nice. This guy we just didn't happen to see until this morning, and it didn't take long for me to get eager, as Butch would say.
facing to the right. It's probably 500 yards. There's a bit of brush right where his head would be. And I think I can see horns, but I might be making that part up because it's a bit of brush and they're kind of got white limbs. So I'm not sure. But anyway, that's where we are. a good 4-point down there. Jason spotted him. He's probably 500 yards, 600 yards away, or a little more. But pretty sure it's the same one we saw the day before Jason killed his buck. We've left it alone for about 3 or 4 days. Now we're back. We don't see all the does that were there the other day. If it's, you know, but it's on the same ridge. We're pretty sure it's him. He's not an absolute monster, but given what we've seen on this trip, he's, you know, he's about as good as what we've seen here.
He's too far to film, so
Yeah.
we're gonna try to sneak in and, of course, get some footage then.
Whether he's as big as we think or not, you know, he's a shooter. If I can get up there, I'll shoot him. You know, and be happy about it. He is a good buck anyway. He's a good 4x4.
Right on.
Good spot. We've moved about 500 yards. That buck hasn't moved about 100 from him, or from where he was, and he's still 500 yards or so from us. So the bad thing is he's kind of facing this way, and we're almost in the open. Well, we are, but if we move any the way we want to go, we're going to cross his line of sight. So we might hang out for a while. That buck's in the very center of the screen. He's so really hard to see from this distance, but yeah, he's silhouetted. He's in a little bush.
You got him. You got him, buddy.
Yeah,
He's laying down. His,
I lost the sight picture.
okay.
Okay, well, thanks, man. That's a hell of a buck. Well, that rangefinder.
That's a long shot.
That rangefinder. Well, it's 300 yards.
That's a long shot.
The rangefinder
That's
said
more than that.
The rangefinder said it was 300 yards. Well, to that tree, and he come out behind that tree,
Yeah.
and I aimed right on his backbone, right, kind of at the back edge of the front shoulder. And I waited till he picked his head up, and I shot, and he was kind of angled towards it a little bit. So I thought, you know, it might go, you know, in like this a little bit. And when I, you know, instead of just going over like I'm so used to with these 25s, he went forward, and I thought, good gosh, I didn't miss. And I was kind of slow getting the next round in.
I was really surprised when he didn't drop like a rock.
But he didn't go very far.
No. He went.
I can
He
see
went
his horn.
8 yards, 9 yards.
I can see his horn sticking up. He went about 10 yards forward, but he didn't fall right over him. He kind of gotten used to that. These things, you know, they're not a real big gun, but
They're light.
they got quite a bit of speed to them, and it tends to put them right over. But I see his horn sticking up. That's a heck of a nice buck. I mean, for me, they make bigger
For you?
ones. Hey,
Dude, that's
they
a good
make
buck
they make
anywhere.
when we spotted him this morning. We spotted it right now. It's 3:32, and we spotted him about
Hours ago.
an hour after daylight.
It's about 8
spotted
o'clock
him.
in the morning. Yeah.
And he hasn't went about 150 yards all day. But we spent that time getting closer. And of course he laid down right after the morning, so we'd seen some does wander off, and we weren't convinced that he went with them, because we could never see him, but there's a lot of scattered mahogany. And finally we were just stubborn and just thought, God, he's still in there, he's still in there. Finally, at mid-noon, he got up, moved out of the shady spot. The sun moved, he got up, moved a little bit, and we saw him. And he was a lot further than we first thought. I think at first I said he was 500-600 yards. Heck, we moved up 500-600 yards, and he was still, it seemed like he was 500-600 yards all day, and we kept walking. Yeah.
We ditched our gear back up on the rim. I'll have to go back and get it since
Yeah.
you went and got mine from last time.
Well, okay.
Let's
All
go.
right,
I'll go down there with
I
you.
think my coat and the tripod are laying there too.
Yeah, they are.
But you know, we got close, and we, every now and then we'd see a little bit, but you know, I didn't want to shoot 500 yards. But the wind's been shifting on this whole hunt. The wind has been really consistent. But today it's actually been shifting, and we got to talking. We'd like to get him closer. We don't. That's as far as I've ever shot a buck. You know, and I don't.
For the camera, you really can't film much farther.
Yeah, we want, you know, for the camera and for the shot. You know, the closer you are, the better shots you're going to make. And so, you know, I wanted to get closer, but gosh, I mean, some of them does are just, you know, as soon as they put their head down, they're back up, and we're not even moving, and the wind's blowing right at us. And we're like, what the heck are they? You know, they're pretty flighty. And then they were more flighty than him, but he really had a knack for bedding down where you couldn't see him.
Man,
you know,
he was pretty good at covering or concealment anyway.
Because I think them does ended up coming back up, because as he got up, moved his shady spot down, and then he moved closer to him at midday. And then as we got down here, apparently them ones we watched, they must have kind of come back this way, because now all of a sudden there's a couple does with him, and he had been alone. But from where we first spotted him an hour after daylight, he wasn't 100 yards from where Jason seen that 4-point the other day, so we think it's him. Turns out he's a big 3 on one side, but it looks like he's got a couple cheaters that still make him a 4. I know it makes him a 4, but I even think he's got another one on the front to make him a 5. But
cool.
He's a.
You got him, Joe? Okay. Oh, I see antlers. Ow. Looks like a big 3 on the one side.
Yeah, that's the side that had the 3.
All right. Oh, he's 4.
He's 5. Yeah, he's got that 5th one there. And he tried to have a little 5th one there. All right.
That's a nice buck, man.
Yeah, it's a good one. It is a good one.
That's the biggest one we've seen on this trip.
I don't know that he's that much bigger than that one you shot, is he? I don't think he's much bigger.
I think he's bigger. We'll have to do a comparison, but I think you won.
Then they lay out a little bit more, but they're pretty close, really. But that's the biggest buck I've ever shot.
Right on. Yeah, me too.
And I'm thrilled. Oh man, yeah, he's a dandy.
Nice job, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks for spotting him.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for spotting mine.
Yeah. No,
we're even.
Yeah,
now once I get those packs, I guess we'll be even.
Yeah. Well, we got to get him out too.
He's got eye guards. This is nice.
Yeah, I think he is that one we seen the other day. He's right in the heart. All right.
Yeah. Nice job, Joe.
Oh, thanks.
Good job, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks for spotting him, man. Yeah, I am tickled. We'd never hunted this country before, and so we weren't exactly sure what to expect. You know, you always picture the the monsters, and we come down thinking, well, we'll see what we find, and actually, like Jason said, the two biggest bucks we've seen on this trip we've gotten, but we've seen some decent bucks, and we've seen some good ones. This is a draw hunt. We're in Nevada, but it's not a real hard one to draw.
Mm-hmm.
There's some units up, I think, I'm not sure where they are, the Northwest, I think. Some guy's been putting in 12, 15 years, We had one preference point on this, so this one I don't think is as hard to draw as a lot of them. But we've seen good numbers of deer. We've had to get back in to find them.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground. We haven't seen much when we haven't been back in, but once we've gotten back in. Yeah. Now a lot of times we get way back in and then we see a road coming right under us. We've seen a lot of that. I think it was yesterday we hiked in, God, we must have been 5-6 miles in, and there's a 4-wheeler road right under us,
Yeah.
And they're not all on the map, so we've found some, that are there. I think there's one right under us now a little ways that, if I remember right, seen one on the hill the other day, but we've still, even from them, a lot of those are down coming up these ravines in the old mining camps, and unless the guys get up and look out, they can't see a lot of this. So.
Sometimes the roads might be decommissioned, like Joe said, there might be 4-wheeler trails now because of the old mining from the 50, 100 years ago.
But we've been able to get away. We've seen a couple other hunters, but not many. And it's been a great hunt. We've had a good time. We've seen some good bucks.
Yeah.
And actually, we got a couple days left of the hunt if we weren't tagged out.
Yeah. Well, I got a cougar tag.
Yeah, Jason got a cougar tag. So, but no, it's been great. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Thank you. It's appreciate it, man. That's a good spot, and that's a dandy.
Well, cool. Yeah. We're almost even. Once I get the packs from up there, I'll make us even. Right?
Yeah, mule, go get them. All right.
All right.
Thanks, man.
All right, no problem. You see a lot of old mines and homesteads out here that have been abandoned a long time ago, and this is all out on public land that are just remnants of what used to be a pretty big I guess is what still is a big gold operation, but it's moved. And this is, I don't know how they decided to put them here in the first place. They didn't really have the technology then, but it's pretty neat to see it. We've seen a couple mines. We'd be out hunting way, you know, in the middle of nowhere, and suddenly you'd see an old mine shaft and all the tailings sticking out. And every now and then you run into these. Now this one here is near a road, but somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and it's kind of neat. They're unmarked and they're just there, and so it's pretty slick and something we didn't know about coming into this trip. But it's kind of neat to run into this old, you know, the historical value of the place. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you know, I don't know much about it, but you can see where they had made some sort of like a concrete mix to hold the rocks together, and this stuff holds up a lot better here where we live. It'll all be grown over with brush, you know, because of the rain. But in this desert type climate, a lot of this stuff lasts, and it's kind of neat to look at it. You know, I don't know. I know mining is real big here in Nevada. It's you know, still like the #1 or #2 industry, I think, in the state, and it's got a lot of history here, and it's kind of neat. Even if you don't know anything about it, it's neat just to look at it and see it, and it makes you kind of wonder about the people and how they lived.
Yeah,
you know,
it'd be a tough
years ago here.
It'd be a tough time. It'd be a tough time.
So,
but yeah, it's pretty neat, and thought it'd be kind of cool. Since we're tagged out, we got a day or so to mess around. So thought we'd show the sites that we weren't taking the time to show because we were chasing animals before.
Yeah, you know, some of these you can see. I guess those were windows, and you know, you can just kind of imagine timbers across there. Not that there's a lot of timber in this country, but you know, a lot of this stuff, if they brought some in, or you know, in some place you'll see where they use juniper, but. You made a good miner. You look good right there.
Well, we're back at camp, and I'm behind camp, and I've got meat hanging in these mahogany here. I'll show you in a second. And this is how all we do is put it in feed bags and kept it cold off the ground, kind of so it could air out. One of the things I forgot to mention about these feed bags, they're really cool. They're great for bugs, and they keep a lot of flies. You don't have to worry about that here. It's cold out in the elevation, but when you are in lower elevations, any feed bags are really good to keep flies from blowing the meat and all that stuff. It's pretty cool, and we use them quite a bit for meat, and in this case the cape of the head. Joe's going to cape this guy out in a little bit, and mine, in addition to, of course, all the meat, I'm going to have a European done on this guy. So. And we're not used to real big bucks in Oregon, so these are just dandies for us, and we'll measure them here in a little bit. But they're not as big as what we thought they were or this one wasn't as big as what I thought it was when we saw it earlier. But hey, man, we're tickled pink, and this is pretty cool. Being a public land unguided hunt, and we've never been here before out of state, so we're pretty thrilled with what we were able to do in a week.
We had a little bit of ground shrinkage. When we seen this buck here, this was the buck that we spotted the day before Jason killed his, and we were going back to there when we spotted the one Jason killed. And at the time, I thought Jason thought it was 27, I thought it was 26 or so, and heck, it's 23. So we've talked to a couple guys here. We talked to a guide who had some other buddies that guide, and he said the hunters they'd had in here the first season, and so far this one, he said the widest buck they'd killed in there was 25.5 inches. Yeah. Now, he could have been talking about inside, because our measurement, we're talking about the outside. But still, you know, he said you'll get 25 and 26 inch bucks. There's a pretty good buck in here. So, you know, these were the two biggest bucks that we found. So we're pretty, we're thinking, you know, we did all right. You know, you got to be realistic about it too. You know, you're always looking at an out-of-state hunt. You always think, okay, this is the monsters that you see in the magazines, and you know, you got to temper that with realism too. We passed up quite a few bucks while we were hunting. You know, we didn't do too bad here. You know, we're blacktail hunters, so we're pretty easily impressed. We see one of these nice Muleys, say, man, he's a monster, and you know, and there's definitely some bigger ones in this country, I think. But you know, I think it's one of those that if we keep putting in here and we come back, you know, over time we'll learn more areas from being here and on foot, and eventually, you know, that occasional big one will be here.
Yeah, I want to come back too. I think this would be fun, and if we get a friend of ours, Red, to go, that'd be cool too.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? You're caping?
Yeah,
obviously.
actually, yeah, I'm just caping him out right now. I still haven't decided for sure whether or not, you know, to have him mounted, but we've got some buddies that are taxidermists, so even if we don't, we brought the cape out. Even if I decide not to, then we'll still have good use for the cape. But I might get him mounted. But anyway, we always keep a little cape and knife around, and you know, we just most did it up to the base of the head there and the neck. I'm out in the field, and now back at camp we're just kind of relaxing, and I'm gonna go ahead and cape him out. A lot of times when we're at home, I usually will take, and I will just make sure I cut all my cut up to the back of the neck, and I will leave as much hide as I can, you know, even behind the shoulders to give them the full brisket, and then I will cut on the legs. I will cut up the backside and give them just as much hide as you can to work with. And then usually when I cut it off here at the base, right behind the ears there where that neck joint is, that's usually all I do. I usually take it to the taxidermist like that, just because they're a lot better at this part. You know, they do it all the time, and then I'm not making the mistakes here that they have to deal with. Well, in this case, you know, we're you know, a state away, and we're going to be here a couple more days, and so I'm going to go ahead and cape it out. And we bought a 50-pound bag of salt, and so then once I get it caped out, I'm going to get as much meat off the hide as I can without cutting the hide up, and then I'm just going to put a bunch of salt on it and roll it up, and not put it in a plastic bag, but I'm going to put it in one of these feed bags. I'm not no taxidermist, and don't you know, there's a lot more of this I don't know than I do about this stuff. But from what I understand, you know, the big thing is moisture. I started to take these ears inside out, but I got to a point where I thought I was really going to screw things up. So I only went about as far as I could without messing up the inside of that ear. And then I'm just going to get as much salt around it as I can.
I'm going to play Camp Cook. I took some venison burger that Joe killed back in September, not that long ago. Anyway, he got it with his bow, and that's 4-point. And I've mixed it with Lipton onion soup mix. A buddy of ours, Pat, mentioned this, that he liked to do it. He said it was the only way to cook burgers, so we're going to give it a shot. And he did it with venison as well. So we'll have that going on the open stove, and we got spuds going. We're big on spuds around here, so we got that going. And a big old fire is always good to have too. So anyway, that's the deal. So we're going to see how this works out. We're going to tell Pat if he's full of it or not.
Oh, you know what?
What?
Pat said that was a secret recipe.
Are you serious?
Yeah. But you can ask him about it.
Well, thanks, Pat.
Yeah. Yeah, no, thanks, Pat. This is excellent. But, yeah, we might ask him before we put it in there. And it's been a good trip, you know. We'd like to come back here, you know. We'll probably keep putting in, and I think, you know, there's no doubt that this country holds, you know, quite a bit bigger bucks than the ones we got. But we're happy with those. But, you know, I think if we was to hunt this country, you know, every year, it's so far to come, you can't really come scout it. But every year we'll learn a little more. And like next time, we already know some places we wouldn't go and some places we would. I think given time, you know, you make a few trips and get to learn it better, and pretty soon, you know, we will hook up with a couple of them big bucks.
That'd be great.
You know, and so it's just a matter of learning it and keeping at it.
Sure.
Know. But no regrets on the ones we got, though.
No way.
You know, those are good ones. But
thanks for taking me along, Joe.
no, thanks for coming. I didn't bring you. Thanks for the trip. We had a good time.
Yeah, it's been fun. We can get ready. We're going to put our video on hold until the Navy gets done flying by.
Yeah, we badmouthed the Navy and the Air Force, but Jason was a Marine, I'm an Army guy. But I'm really glad they're on our side. Because I'd hate to be on the other end of them guys.